Guys. So let's go ahead and talk about Shaq McRoy, the offensive line room. I think this is one of the rooms that there was a lot of holes on this roster. I mean, just being completely honest, right? That a lot of kids, not only a lot transferred again, but we lost a lot due to graduation as well. And so offensive line, I mean, it's hard to pick which room needs the most, right? Revamp, but offensive line coming into this year has to be better than what it was last year. And I think it's gonna be very interesting after summer workouts and after game 1, 2, or 3 of next year to really see if they were able to do this in the portal. Because after, just seeing what I've seen, I'm not really seeing how we did that, how we got better in the O-line room. Because, I mean, it's very rare that you can, it's almost unheard of, right? That you see an impact true freshman come in at the P4 level, in the ACC as well, that can start right from the get-go and do well, right? Because it's hard. It's one of those positions that takes for sure a year or two to develop to be able to protect. And so Shaq McRoy, offensive tackle, Arkansas transfer, coming in at 6'8", 344, follows Petrino over from Arkansas. I think out of all the pickups, right, I think this is the one that is the most ready to start out of our transfer portal haul along the offensive line. I think this is a guy that they're hoping as well can continue to refine a lot of his tools and his blocking as they get into next year. I think he's almost there, just with some of the film that I've looked at, and I'll be honest, I'm not the best, right, to gauge offensive line at the college level. I'm just not. But just from my understanding, I feel like he's the one that they're banking on the most to be able to develop into that next phase as they get ready for next year. TCU, all the way in Ireland. Trevor, what you got?
Yeah, I didn't star anybody, but if I was going to star somebody that I expect to be the day one starter, we're going to need and have to be huge for us, it's going to be Shaq. I expect him to be either a right or left tackle for us. And he was a highly recruited kid. Like he was very sought after, big time, top 100 player, 4-star. Originally went to Oregon, redshirted at Oregon, and then transferred to Arkansas. But he was an Under Armour All-American, and he dominated in the All-American game. I went back and watched clips from there. So he's played against good competition and did well. And I thought it was cool. So he's following Bobby from Arkansas. And last year at Arkansas, Bobby got him in and got a rushing touchdown against Notre Dame. So he's at his size, 6'8", 344. He's athletic enough for them to bring him in and hand him the football and let him get in a little goal line carry. So I thought that was pretty cool, and I'd love to see him do that for us this year. Get him down there and just get him the ball. So he's a big addition, though. We're going to need him. Offensive line is going to be the key. Other than the quarterback, a lot's going to ride on this offensive line and our success this year. So this was a one that I did not want us to lose or let off campus. So big get here for us.
JJ, what you got?
Yeah, so like I said, I was working out at the facility and I saw him walk around the corner. And let me tell you, I was like, the first thing I said, who the hell is that? He's towering over everybody. And they're like, oh yeah, they call him Shaq. And I was like, I wonder why. Like, he's legit one of the biggest humans I've seen, like, especially in that building. And I mean, he lives up to his name, Shaq. He's a big dude. And going back, like you said, it's not a lot of film to be able to watch. I'm glad he got a rushing touchdown. We could throw him in the goal line package, which would be extremely well at UNC. But, he has great feet. Shout out to my boy Diego. He's getting me to start watching some more offensive linemen nowadays. So I can get a little more scouting report on offensive linemen. He has really good feet from what I've seen. But again, also SEC competition. And I know I said earlier, you can find talent anywhere, but that really only goes to skill players. The difference between FCS and FBS linemen is a completely different ball game. And he is at the top. I know I played at UNC, but in my personal opinion, in terms of offensive line and defensive line, the SEC is where you make your money at. and he played at that level, and he's big enough to be at that level. He was big enough to be at that level. So this is a great get that UNC's going to have. And like we just said, day one starter, in my opinion.
You talking about making that money along the offensive line. That reminded me of that clip of Will Campbell when he was talking about, somebody asked him something. He was like, well, no offense, and FedEx drivers, that's fine. But, if I let one sack a game, I'm FedEx, and I'm delivering packages, right? I can't remember what he compared it to, but
he's like if a top D lineman gets a sack a game, he's going first round. But if I give up a sack a game, I'm delivering packages for FedEx, or something like that.
Good stuff. Yeah, Trevor, what you got? Thank you, Troy, for that's right. I already kicked it to you. Troy, what you got, buddy?
Yeah, so that was a cool story about you working out at the facility and seeing him come around the corner, JJ, because my initial thoughts that I wrote down for him is that if there's, like, I know it's kind of cliche to say, but if there's a guy that I want to lead my team off the bus, Shaq McRoy is top 2, and more than likely he's not number 2, because that dude is a unit. And I went back and watched some of his tape. JJ, I found myself laughing watching offensive lineman tape too, to be honest with you. But he reminds me. Interesting that you brought up Diego, because at the tackle spot, you saw him at guard and at tackle sometimes. I think he's better at either tackle spot. He reminds me a lot of Diego at that position. I think he's got a high ceiling. I think that's where we're going to use him at. To be honest with you. But just an overbearing presence on the offensive line shows, a great ability to move people out of the way and run blocking. And he holds his block well during the, pass blocking, coming off and holding the edge off from the pass rush. There were a numerous amount of tapes that I watched of him just laying a edge rusher flat on his face, just off technique alone. So I think the ceiling with this guy's huge. He wanted to follow Bobby. That was the main reason why he committed to Carolina. So going to be it's a very intriguing pickup, and I think he's a guy that can contribute immediately as well. But I starred him. I didn't just star position player, skill players. I starred him too, because when I star him, I do take into account, like, okay, who's going to contribute, and based on tape, the guys that I starred, I think they can be key contributors if given the opportunity.